Hi, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. I'm Donna Botti, and with me is Bob Clark.
Hello out there, everybody.
And we're happy to be here presenting to you on behalf of SCORE in Montgomery County, hot trends in digital marketing.
It's hot today, Donna.
I love it. I'm so done with winter. So we're going to be talking about that today. First, I want to just mention a little bit about Montgomery County SCORE. SCORE is a great organization that's dedicated to helping business people succeed, and they provide free counseling and local mentoring sessions, as well as a lot of great resources on the SCORE website. If anybody is interested in connecting with a SCORE mentor to learn how they can help you grow your business and you can get free business advice, please put your name and email in the chat. It will be private. It won't be public to anyone else. And we will make sure that we get someone from SCORE to follow up with you.
Yeah, it's a great organization, Donna. You know, they do mentoring by video conference as well as phone call and in person.
Right, and email too.
And email.
You can even just ask them if you have a specific question about some sort of a regulation or you're looking for a certain resource. So it's a good tool. And they also present this workshop series that we're doing, webinars and also in-person workshops in the Philadelphia area at SCORE Montgomery County's office in King of Prussia, which is where the Small Business Administration is, and also in the SCORE Jenkintown office. So a lot of local resources for you.
And free.
And free. Gotta like free. So Bob and I are with Delos, and we're based in Collegeville, Pennsylvania. And what we do is we make the web work for you. And that means primarily websites and digital marketing strategies like email marketing, video, social media, content marketing, and all the things you need to do today to contact your customers or have them contact you.
Of course, your website, you said that, right?
Yes, I did.
Got to have the website.
We are also a authorized local expert for Constant Contact. If you're not familiar with what Constant Contact is, it is the #1 small business marketing system. It's email marketing plus more events and surveys and social things as well in there. And we're happy to say that we are also a Constant Contact All-Star, which means that the results we get for our customers in our Constant Contact program are in the top 10% of Constant Contact's 500,000 customers worldwide. Again, what we do is we make the web work for you. It shouldn't be work for you. It should work for your business.
That's right. We don't work for Constant Contact, but we use this great tool to help small businesses like yourself.
Right. And Constant Contact has given us an offer for attendees tonight to try out their product for 3 months at $5 a month.
Such a deal, Donna.
We are going to talk at the end a little bit more than that because we even have an additional bonus after that. But let's get started and talk about digital marketing trends and what it is that you can do. This is such a fast changing area. 10 years ago, we didn't even have smartphones and Facebook and all of these other things, which are just coming fast and furious. And one of the things is, are you keeping up? This is the reaction we see from a lot of people. And it's common because it really is a fast growing area. And it also presents a lot of opportunities, but it requires thinking a little bit differently about your business and about how you as a consumer act today, because this is a technology shift that consumers are dragging businesses into as opposed to the other way around. So we're going to talk about a bunch of trends which are on the horizon, things to be watching out for, and then also give you some tips on what it is that you can do.
Sounds good.
So the first thing that I want to talk about is not really a trend at all. It is here, and it's mobile.
Did you just say smartphones haven't been around for like just 10 years now?
They have not been around very long, but they have become an integral part of everything that we do.
Exactly.
There was a Pew survey in the fall that's like half of the people said they couldn't live without their phone.
You've done that, Donna, left the house and came back for your phone, right?
I have, yes. And
everybody else out there has probably done that one time or another.
So millennials, most of them, it never leaves their side.
True.
Yeah. Whether you're sleeping, and I see this, I have some children in their 20s and stuff, or teenagers, and if you go in to like wake them up or something, the phone is actually under their pillow. It literally never leaves their side. So 10 years ago, smartphones didn't exist. 5 years ago, only a third of Americans own one. And according to ComScore research, which is some of the graphs that you see on the screen, all digital growth is now coming from mobile usage.
Right. Everybody's on their phones.
It's something that we need to keep in mind as we go through all of these other trends and as you do your online presence. Because believe it or not, most businesses out there still don't have a mobile website and are not addressing mobile and how their customers interact with them. So important mobile considerations. More emails are opened on mobile devices than on desktop.
True.
More social media is open on mobile phones. 1 in 5 minutes on the phone is spent in Facebook.
That all?
Search. There are more searches made on mobile, like through Google search, than there are on desktop. More internet use in general is happening on mobile devices. Google has changed their search index. They used to have a desktop search index and a mobile search index, and you might have ranked differently on each one. Today, there is now one search index, and it is the mobile index. So if your website, for example, is not mobile friendly, you will not be ranking very well in any Google searches from now on because they're going to use that primarily. And purchases. 1/3 of purchases are now made on mobile devices. And this past Black Friday in 2016 was the first $1 billion mobile shopping day. So we need to keep all these things in mind as we think about how our customers do business with us. So what can you do? The first thing is you need to make sure that your web presence is mobile. What you see on the screen is an example of what's called a mobile responsive website. The mobile responsive means that you have one website. You don't need a mobile version and a desktop version. You have one website that responds according to the width of the device it's being used on. So it will automatically, let's say, go from 3 columns to 2 columns to 1 column. So responsive website. You don't necessarily need an app if you're a small business. One responsive website will cover you. You need to make sure that your emails are really readable in a quick fashion on mobile devices. When you look at the email on the left with all that information, if I have to pinch and zoom, people do not read those emails. They will delete it or unsubscribe to your email if it's not mobile. You need to make your emails now short, to the point, big enough, and format it for mobile. And then your social media. Most social media happens on mobile devices. If you look at, apps like Instagram now has a web version, but for the longest time, they only had an app. Snapchat is a newcomer in the mobile area, is really only available as a mobile app. So make sure that as you create your materials, that you're doing all of your testing on mobile so you understand, do the graphics look right? Is the text getting cut off? Is my message getting across? So that should be the background for all of these new and up and coming trends that we're going to talk about. So the first one that I want to discuss is live video. Live video is, live streaming, a current thing which is happening. We're doing live streaming right now. In a sense, the webinar is happening live. We're recording it for later use, but you're in your home or your office watching it where you are. But live streaming and video in general is becoming more and more important. It's estimated that by the end of this year, 70% of all internet traffic will be video traffic. Some people say that, video is the new, alphabet really, but, you just have to get your message across in all things. Now, it's interesting that somebody had to write those words to say that, but that's, what it is. But it's right now, today, on social media, on your website, in your emails, people respond more to video. They can recall the videos they've seen. They take some action after seeing a video. One study said if you use video in your subject line, assuming you have a link to a video in your email, it increases open rates by almost 20%. Users comment a lot more on live video as on regular video. So video,
keep those comments coming.
Video is definitely.
We appreciate them. We'll get to your questions too as we go along.
Yes, if you do have questions. And so there's a couple of live video platforms out there. I don't know if anyone has used any of them. If you want to put that in the chat, let us know if you have any experience with them. One of the big ones right now is Facebook Live. You can broadcast from your phone or your desktop. You share it on Facebook. It's interactive. People can comment as you're recording. They can like and comment on it, follow you, and then it's visible on your timeline and you can save it for reuse. So Facebook Live is one of the ones that's out there. Instagram and Snapchat also doing videos now as well. Not as big as the Facebook one. Periscope is the one that is owned by Twitter. That's you can share a live broadcast from your phone. That cannot be recorded from a desktop. It's automatically shared out to your Twitter followers. It is interactive. People can heart and make comments on it. There are replays available, and you can also save your videos and, let's say, repost them to YouTube. YouTube Live is another one, includes Hangouts on Air. We're actually using YouTube Live as the basis of this platform that we're running on today. You can have multiple presenters in different locations. You can stream from your desktop or phone. People can comment. You can also have call to action cards, and it'll be saved to your YouTube channel where you can post it on other media. So those are some of the big players on what live streaming is. Typically, you take your phone and you just start recording something. So what can you do with this? How are brands and marketers doing this? Well, live events is a good thing. Customer education thing. So if you have a product that you need to show someone how to use it, doing it live and streaming it is good. Product demos and launches, special announcements that you might have. On the platforms, a lot of things that are really popular are these behind the scenes things. Customer Q&A. Again, how do you get people in a customer Q&A? Well, you're going to announce, we're going to be live. I'm going to be taking your questions. What do you want us to do?
Those are great, Don. I've seen those on Facebook Live with different companies put things out and people talking about their products and they ask questions. And it's kind of like an interview setting.
Right. Interviews are another good thing. Think about, like local sports teams who can, like broadcast something. You've got, a hair salon that does like weekly makeup tips, and ask people can get their questions and doing that. So there's a lot of different things. So if you have maybe you're a florist, you could show how you make a bouquet. There's many opportunities to do this. And the way to think about it is like, I'm not going to do this as something else that I'm already doing, but how can you fit it in with things that you're already doing? Now I'm just going to share it with a wider audience. Right. This type of video is not like a super produced type of thing. It's really a very casual live streaming video. But how do you get people to watch this stuff? Well, you're going to tell people ahead of time when you broadcast. That way, they can put it on their calendar and know you're going to do this, especially works for an event, things like that. If you have new products coming in and you start doing that on a regular day, let's say you're an apparel company and every Thursday you get a new shipment, you could say, oh, look, we're going to, do some unboxing, show you what we've got in that's really cool this week. A couple minutes of live video, people will know to do it. You want to have a good description so that when people who do follow you get notified, they are enticed to click on it. You should ask for the follow and subscribe so that people get notified, and respond to comments and use people's names in them, because you'll see who is watching and you'll see their comments in real time. Longer broadcasts can increase viewership over time, but you really want to start somewhere. And a lot of our customers are somewhat intimidated by, going live with video, especially if you haven't done it before. So one of the recommendations that we make is start with some really short pre-recorded video that you share. So again, if you got in a new product, you're going to do a little 30-second, this is what we love about this, check it out, and you have the video that shows how it works or what it is.
Kind of like a take one, take two until you get it right? And then just use that.
Well, but save it and make it short and make it quick until you get comfortable with the format, and then go ahead and start with your live streaming. So that's definitely something you're going to be seeing a lot more of. The second trend that I want to talk about is voice search. And this is where we go, okay, Google, or talk to Siri, or if anyone has seen, some of the devices that are out there, which we'll talk about in a second. But right now, not including the personal assistant devices. These are things like the Amazon Echo or the Google Home, Amazon Dot, that use Alexa. Microsoft has Cortana. Google Home is another one. That's expected to be over $2 billion this year. It's a very high growth area, but not including those things. 20% of all Google searches are now done by voice, either on your phone or on your desktop, where you can click the microphone and talk there. It's a very high growth area in a really short period of time. And one of the reasons for this is that the voice recognition technology has gotten so much better in a short period of time.
I've noticed that over the last 6 months to a year, it's a lot better. So I probably use it 50% of the time when I search.
I find it a lot more convenient than trying to type on the phone if you want to look something up, to ask a question on doing that. I know at the dinner table sometimes, if how do you solve the discussion or argument about who's doing this or that, or wait, who was in that movie, or right away, okay, Google, and you ask right exactly then. So it's been a big area. And these are like the personal assistant devices. You've seen the Amazon Echo, Google Home. We want to also think about like connected cars. Okay, so the main thing about these personal assistant devices is that it's conversational search. You get instant answers via voice. I might ask, hey, how did the Phillies do today? And I can get a score back. Will it rain tomorrow? There's all kinds of things that people ask and talk about when they go in here. Tell me about the traffic. The personal assistant devices also get into, turn on the downstairs lamp, some of the internet connected home, playing music. On the Amazon Echo, they have what they call skills, which are open to a lot of different companies can create their own skills for Alexa, and there's thousands of them. You can order a Domino's pizza. You can check your portfolio at Fidelity. You can call an Uber. So there's all these different these different skills that you can use. One of my friends loves every morning, she comes down and says, Alexa, tell me a joke. And you get the joke of the day. So there's a lot of different things that are there. So how does this affect, though, a small business? And what can you do about it? Voice search is not keywords. It's very conversational. So I don't, go and say, air conditioner. I say, no, how much does it cost to replace a whole house air conditioner? Those are the types of searches. It's very much longer and it's conversational. And, about a quarter of all voice searches today are for actual local information. Where is a restaurant near me? Find me the nearest Wawa.
So you're saying, Don, it's all based on the maps where I'm at when I ask a question, because I don't want to find an air conditioning place in California if I'm here in Pennsylvania, right?
Well, if you're querying specifically for local information, like, where are the plumbers near me or something like that, the information is map based. It knows your location and it will show you something there. If you're going to ask, who's starring in, the Star Wars Rogue One movie, then you're going to, that's a more general query. So, what you're going to want to do is make sure that the information on your website and your articles are more conversational than in tone. Don't use super technical terms if that's not how people speak about your products. Make sure that your content answers searchers' questions. And one way to do that is to say questions out loud, to look in search. When you start typing in the search box, if you're not speaking, you could see suggested searches that come up, and those tend to be the things that people are asking about. So think about the types of questions someone will have when they are a prospective customer of yours, and do you have the answers to those questions on your website? And are you using those words for them?
Do they have to be in that exact same order somebody writes in? Like if you say whatever the line you're saying, does it have to have that exact match on your website, or just a series of those words?
Well, if you have the exact match and you have a good, solid piece of information that answers that, you're more likely to rank higher. But if you don't use those words at all, then that's an issue. So I had a meeting with a customer this morning, and one of the things they do is they install flooring that has heat in it. Okay. Radiant heat flooring, heated floors for bathrooms. So we're, discussing like what do their customers search for? They don't typically think about radiant heating. Some of them might, some of them don't. It's more like, oh, I've heard you can get these heated floors.
Right.
So
my toes are cold in the morning. Getting out of the shower. What do I do?
Well, I mean, again, if you're searching for a product, it's not going to be that. I mean, you're doing some research trying to find out what it is, but typically your customers are not going to use, unless you're in a really technical field, an ordinary consumer is not going to use the technical terms. They're going to use the more natural terms, and then your information should match those terms. Does that make sense? Do we have any questions? Please just put them in the chat there. Our next trend is social customer service. More consumers today say they've used a social media site for customer support. Customers also spend more money with companies that offer support via social media. And some companies are doing it right, but most don't even respond to the social media posts. So it's important to be where your customers are. If they want to reach out to you with a Facebook message, you should answer them on a Facebook message. If they would like to, reach out on Twitter, you should do that. You should respond back. I always use the example of when I had an issue with my Verizon service and had tweeted out about it. And, Verizon got back to me about a day later. It wasn't an totally unreasonable amount of time, but I had a response from AT&T in 5 minutes offering to, I wouldn't have this problem if if I had used their service.
We'll solve your problem, Donna, right?
So, you want to make sure that you're going to do that. Here's a funny example. This guy actually tweeted at Morton's, "Can you meet me at Newark Airport with a porterhouse when I land in 2 hours?" And there he is, the picture with the guy from Morton's who's delivering the steak. It's great. Airlines. And, I guess this doesn't count if you're like on the plane, but airlines have a reputation of giving the best customer service today over Twitter rather than anything else. So here's someone who was complaining that, my TV is out on the plane, and 23 minutes later, it had been resolved by someone who was manning the social media account and got the right person. So that
was a good airline story for today.
I know. I'm not going to mention the other airline stories today, right? So what can you do, right? The number one thing that customers want is a fast response. They don't want to be waiting. We are living in an age where if it's, whatever time I'm having to be looking for the information, I want to find my answers. Do you have any self-serve stuff on your website, on your social media? Acknowledge that. Put a process in place for social media support and train your staff. We have some people who, again, someone comes in, their job is to man the phone. Well, their job is now actually to man the phone and Facebook and Twitter for any concerns that customers have. Put that in place. Monitor your mentions. Set up a Google alert. See who's talking about you on social media in case they're not reaching out to you directly. They may just be saying something about you to someone else, and because you're mentioned, know what it is. And then promote your social media channels and let your customers know that you are available there.
Somebody wants to know, Donna, how do you, they'll get notified how from Facebook if somebody mentions you on Facebook? Do they get an email or something like that?
Well, it depends if you actually tagged or mentioned, right? So, if you're tagged and you have your notification set, you should get a notification, but that's not always the case.
Right. You can't be on Facebook all day looking for a notification, though.
Well, no, you would want to set up those notifications that if someone does send you a message or contacts you, that you will know that.
Exactly. That was the question.
So, that's what you want to do. All right. Our next trend is social media in general. And it's not a good trend from a small business perspective, but it's really become pay to play. The days of organic reach has been steadily declining. Organic reach means the number of fans that see, for example, your Facebook post has been declining over time. Many people don't realize that Facebook doesn't show everything to everyone. Just because I like your page, I'm not going to see all your posts. The average is down, between 2 and 6% at this point in time. So if I have 100 fans, maybe 6 of them are going to see it. If you have a Facebook page, has anyone noticed that when you go to make a post, what's the first thing that Facebook asks you? Would you like to boost this post? In other words, if you pay more money, more people can see it. And it's not necessarily a bad thing because social media advertising can be a really good value. There are a lot of audience targeting options that are available to you. I can say, I want people in this zip code who make this amount of money, who have children of this age, and who are interested in camping to see my camping trip ad. So you can get really detailed as to who sees your message, and you can tailor messages specifically to them because Facebook knows an awful lot about everyone who uses the software. You also get measurable results because you actually see if I spent this much money, here's how many people clicked on my ad. Based on those many people clicked on my ad, here's how many people became customers. So it's easy to get measured. It does require a good call to action, though.
Yeah, you just can't be on Facebook to be on Facebook. You want them to do something when they get there, right?
Right, and your ad also can't be like, "Oh, visit my website." Well, what do you want them to do when they visit there? Why should they visit my website? Do you want them to register for an event? What should it be? So all the social platforms that have advertising options today, Facebook, Google, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, there's a variety of them. Where should you advertise? Well, where are your customers? That's what you need to look at and who gives you the most information. Because of a social ad, 25% of people said they'll visit the location or website, and 14 to 16% said they would purchase a product or service based upon an ad that they see.
I did the other day, Donna.
Did you?
I went down to my bike shop down the road because they had a sale on some 30% off. It was a Facebook ad, so it worked.
Okay.
I told them it worked.
So what can you do? Well, because the social media is such a fluid space and the rules keep changing and the social media platforms make the rules, you don't, you should still make the website the center of your strategy, because you own the content on there and you control what's there. Use social media and your advertising to drive traffic back to you. Okay. You see a question from Lucas who says, for Facebook ads, is it better to set a general audience demo and have Facebook try to find the people with their algorithm, or is it better to set a very specific group and target very specifically? I think you have to know who your audience is and who you're trying to reach at that. Facebook has a bunch of different audiences. You should never just say, I'm going to advertise to everyone. You have to pick an audience. So you can pick, for example, a audience of your existing customers. You can also pick what's called a lookalike audience. So you can say, based on the people who visit my website or based on the people in my email list who I add here, give me people who have the same characteristics of them. But you can also get very, very specific. And I think it really depends on your information. If you are a local business, one of the things that you definitely want to do is target your location. So if I am a pool service company, and I am in the Philadelphia area, I do not want to target my ads at people in Virginia. So you definitely want to always narrow that down. And you should have an idea of who you are. But you also can do A/B testing to see which audiences are responding better. So make your website the center. Know your goals. What do I want them to do? Get traffic and then get conversions so that they do it. So I like to say we have three types of traffic. We have paid traffic, we have earned traffic, and we have owned traffic. Paid traffic are your advertisers. That when you advertise, it's going to get you traffic. The question is, when you stop paying, the traffic goes away. Earned traffic are those great articles you have that come in search, or those Facebook posts that are viral, that people share a lot, that other people are coming to. And that's a great thing as well. It takes some time to build up. But the owned traffic is the people you can contact directly because they're on your customer or prospect list. And your goal should be converting your paid and your earned traffic to owned traffic. And typically that means getting people on an email list. Especially for things that have a longer lead time in terms of the buying cycle. If you have a product that people just buy on the spot, and that's not necessarily the case, and it's like a one-time purchase, but if you have something that requires that know, like, and trust component, I'm going to build up a relationship over time, then you really need to contact those people over time, and email is one of the best ways to do that. So for your advertising, pick a message, determine your audience. Who does this resonate with? Create a clear call to action. What do you want them to do? I want you to download this guide that I have. I want you to register for this event. I want you to, add this product to your cart, whatever it may be, and then set your budget and then monitor your results. So the last trend I want to talk about is personalization, personalizing content, right? You want to know what your customers want. They're all at different places. They're different things. I always use the example of my friend who doesn't like the pet store they go to because he always buys cat food there, but they're always sending him dog food emails. So, it's not personalized enough. So know what they want, and then you can divide, for example, your email list or your ads and things like that into groups based upon their interests and their demographics. These are my repeat donors. I'm going to invite them all to a special VIP event. I'm going to make them feel great. And it's going to be a high ticket thing that I know that this group over here, my casual people, are not, necessarily going to respond to. So separate out the type of customers based on what they do. Is it, some businesses have residential customers, commercial customers. So that might be a thing. Repeat customers, different ways to do that. Consumers buy more from retailers who personalize the shopping experience cross channel. So you really want to do that. And, you could look at the recommendation engines, because you watch this on Netflix. Here, we recommend you might like this or this or this. You can see Amazon does the same sort of thing. How can you get the right information? So if you have a group of customers who all bought a particular service, can you have some follow-up to that group, which would be the natural next thing on there, and lead on to them, because that's the point that they're at. Sending that information to a new prospect is probably just going to go over their heads because they're not ready to receive it at that point. So people are more likely to shop when they have a good personalized experience, and they're more likely to share personal information if they believe it will improve their experience and their satisfaction. How many times has someone signed up in a restaurant because they were going to get a free dessert on their birthday? But would you give us your birthday and your email, and then we'll send this to you?
Sure.
People do it, right?
People do it.
So how can you personalize it? Through email list segmentation, through something called autoresponders, which is an automated drip campaign of marketing. So we'll talk a little bit of an example on that. You can personalize and target your social media programs right to different areas. So if I know that you're an avid cat lover, I am not going to target the bird and dog food things to you. Discount offers, again, targeted accordingly to where people are. So one of the things you can do is something called an autoresponder, or sometimes called a drip campaign, and it works while you do.
And that's an email, Donna, right?
That's an email. So somebody does something, the autoresponder gets sent out automatically and do it. So I'll give you a couple examples of how we have customers using this. So a fitness center, when they get a new client, they really want retention. They want to let them know everything about what they have, the classes they have to offer, how to get the most of their membership. So every time someone's a new customer, they automatically get a series of like 6 or 8 emails over the next 2 months, designing to engage them there. We've also have a number of people use it for prospects. Somebody inquires about your product, and so you send them first, okay, here on our website, you can learn about this and this and this. Hey, we're sending you this white paper or guide, a few days later, oh, here's what our customers are saying about this. And then you invite them to come in for a demo or something. So the nice thing about this is it takes a little bit of work to set it all up. But once it's set up, now you're giving each customer a good personalized experience based upon where they are.
Makes sense. You don't have to do anything. Once they join the list, they'll get the emails automatically.
Right. And we do like email a lot because it reaches people where they are. In terms of deliverability, we talked about Facebook 2% to 6%. A service like Constant Contact, 99% of your messages get delivered to someone, and they have to take some action, whether that's deleting it or reading it or whatever. It's going to sit in your inbox until they do that. It is that own traffic that you have. And again, we also recommend that you make your emails very short, because people have like a 7-second attention span on email, that you have your branding consistently on there, that you share your contact information, that you have a call to action. These are all some best practices in the emails that you get. If you're going to do one of these email series, you can say, hey, if you're interested in, let's say you're a camera store, if you're interested in how to take better pictures with your phone, sign up for our 5-part course. Well, there could be 5 emails. And then, I recommend if you're going to do this autoresponder, you let people know when they get the first one, oh, this is one of 5. You get them an overview. And so they know what to expect. And then they start to look for the things. And then you start to build a relationship that way. So I mentioned earlier on that we had a special offer for today's attendees. It's $5 per month for your first 3 months of email. Also, there's an offer for $10 a month for Email Plus, which also includes event registrations, surveys, some social components if you're a donor, if you're a nonprofit, donation campaigns and things like that.
And also that autoresponder you were talking about
and
too.
And the autoresponders,
which is huge.
right. Yeah, that work while you do is a really nice thing, definitely. And then we actually have, I said, a bonus too, because if you do take advantage of this offer today, that we are going to provide you with a mobile template that's customized for your brand. You'll send us your logo and what colors you use and where you are on social media, and we'll create a whole thing based on your company. So you're basically going to fill it in. We'll also load your contact list for you and get you assistance in getting your first email sent. So it's a really good way to get your feet wet, understand exactly what it is, get help, getting it all set up at a very low risk to do it. The returns are there. You definitely want to talk to your customer. It's a way of building that relationship with your customers, which a lot of this stuff on the trends that we've talked to really relates to. How do I personalize and give my customers a better experience of me? A lot of retail in particular has been having a bad year in terms of people, large chains going out of business and all. It's not necessarily because the economy is so bad or anything. It's more that people are tending to look more for experiences than just products as they make their purchases today. So, do we have any other questions? I want to open up for questions. If you are interested in this $5 and the bonus, the link is there. It's ConstantContact.com event body. And
don't forget the /
Yes. And do that. So I think we have a few more minutes for questions. So
someone asked Donna, should I use the same thing in my email that I use on my website and in social media? Is it okay to overlap all that stuff?
Absolutely. It's a great way to get your message out. You want to have that repetition so that you get known. It's really important that you do that. If you have done any advertising on some old school things like a radio ads or television ads or newspaper ads, the salesman would never tell you, oh yeah, run one classified ad one day. No, you're going to run a series of them so that people get it. So it's perfectly fine and actually a good idea that you're having a consistent call to action, a consistent message, a consistent branding across channels.
Yeah, because people won't always see your social media, but at least they will eventually maybe see your email and your subject line, perhaps.
Well, and it takes a few times for people to see something to remember it.
Right.
You don't always remember it the first time, or it doesn't jog your memory. Oh yeah, I want to register for that event. That sounds cool. And then I go on to something else. Oh, well, now I got the email that said, oh yeah, that's right. I remember. Now I wanted to do that.
Somebody else wanted to know, Donna, on the live video you were talking about earlier, when you take those videos, did you say you could save them and add them to your website if you want to later?
Yes, you can put them on, like if you have a YouTube video, for example, you can embed it in your website. We like the WordPress platform as a way to really expand your base, but it also integrates your social media and your videos very, very easily. But it's definitely something that you want to do. I was talking to someone today about their podcast, right? So they have like a separate podcast that's available on iTunes, but it's like, look, you could link that podcast right in your website too and put a transcript on your website, because maybe not everyone's in a situation where they want to listen. So now you'll have those words in search helping you out.
Oh, so that transcript helps them search when people are asking those questions into their devices that, you're talking to, right?
Right. It helps there. Well, it helps just that you have more content, right? And then, when you have the new podcast, you could certainly also put that out on social media. Hey, here's this week's podcast. I have this guest today explaining to us about, strategy or what leadership or whatever it might be. So you definitely hit all of your channels.
Nice. So you're saying, Donna, this webinar today, if we do put it on our website, somebody in Delos is going to do a lot of typing. Is that what you're telling me?
Well,
if you're going to transcribe it.
Well, YouTube has some automatic transcription.
Oh, yeah, there's little tools that do that there.
But you need to edit it and have that done. There's also services like Fiverr where someone will, write your transcript for you for, $5 or, there's a lot of options available out there. But Excellent. Again, repurpose your message, have a consistent message and repurpose it around. Other questions? I think we have one more.
You talked a little bit earlier about Google search and for mobile. Does that pertain to like Bing search and Yahoo search as well?
Well, it does. And also the biggest things for mobile search now are map based as well, because you find things based on the map where you are. So Apple Maps is another area where it's important with search. This is where it becomes important to claim your listings and citations and make sure that they're okay and that your business is registered with the different search engines. Now, they'll all say, hey, you can have this great package where we'll charge you X amount of dollars to do that. You don't have to do that. Okay, and it's probably a good idea not to do it across all of them. You really want to focus on putting your content in your website and stuff. If you've done all that, then you could try some of those other things, but it's always free to list your business with them.
Great.
So,
I got one more question about this offer you have up here, Donna, and someone wanted to know, so I do the offer, what happens then? Well, we want you to contact us. So we'll put our contact information up there, Donna's, or we'll send out an email with some links about what we're going to talk about as well. Let us know that you've gone on and done the $5 deal, and that way we'll be able to get in touch with you to get all what we need from you to get you set up with your template.
And get your list loaded and get your first email sent out. There is so much happening with all of this stuff, and you really can't figure it all out before you start. The best way is to get your feet wet and just start doing a little bit of it. Then you do more of what works and you do less of what doesn't work. But consistency is really important, and just being there. It's your virtual front door. And the way the world is today, people, they pick up their phone first for so many things, and it's not to make a phone call.
No, it's not.
So, all right. Well, listen, thanks very much for attending today. And we will be sending you out a follow-up email with some links to some other information we talked about, as well as probably a recording of the webinar for you to look at a later date. So thank you and have a good evening, everyone.
Good night.